circus, not my monkey.
Okay, what does it mean?
1 second. Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening.
Very good evening. How are you doing?
I am doing okay type. Not great, not bad, just pulling up.
All right. Why do you say just okay? Nothing spectacular.
No, nothing spectacular.
Why is that?
Actually, recently I underwent a surgery.
Oh,
So I went to Chennai and there I got my this gallbladder removed. And I
oh,
came
okay.
back on 11th of this month. And after that, I just put myself on some restriction while it comes to movement.
Uh-huh.
So that's why it's going on.
All
Now
right.
I'm okay. Now I'm okay. No
Good
problem
to
at all.
know. That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So
Yeah.
how have you been now? How is your health now?
Now it's quite good. No
All right.
problem at all. Yeah.
So were you on food restriction as well?
I was actually I have been told not to take very spicy food for
Mm-hmm.
around 15 days. So 15 days is over. Still, I am not taking.
Okay. If I'm not wrong, gallbladder is responsible to is something that helps in digestion, correct?
Yes, right.
Did the doctor suggest anything related to acidity? Did he ask you to follow any particular diet in future, or did he say that you can go back to your normal diet?
Yeah. So
No
you are
problem.
asking me about my gallbladder that it helps in digestion. Yeah, you are right.
So yeah, so has the doctor asked you to follow any particular diet in future, or you are allowed to have your normal diet, the regular diet that you've been having all along?
Yes. Doctor has told me that I can take my regular diet, anything, normal diet.
Okay.
So there is no restriction. Only for the first 15 days post-operation period. So
Mm-hmm.
I was told not to take very spicy food, and if it is possible, just soft food like juice or any food like soft one. Now it's okay. There is no problem, and I can take any kind of food. There is no restriction at all.
Okay. And how have you been feeling? I mean, like, have you gotten back to your normal diet?
Actually, I can take my normal diet. Like the being Bengali, we like to have fish very much, but still I am not taking.
Uh-huh.
I am just trying to
Avoid.
have veg food only
Uh-huh.
and not non-spicy food also. Just this boil. I like to have boiled food nowadays. Actually, I don't
Oh.
like to have boiled food, but nowadays I love taking
What do
just
you mean by boiled food? Do you mean to say you're just blanching these vegetables in water and having?
like say we eat rice. So while cooking rice, we put this potato or other some kind of vegetables there, and we have it together with ghee. I don't know
Yes,
how it is called in English.
it is
So
ghee only, huh?
yeah, okay. So ghee and a little bit of salt, and I have this.
Oh, you mean to say like more like khichdi?
Khichdi is also there. Khichdi we add this dal lentil in
Huh? So
with
you do
rice.
not eat you do not eat that.
No, I that
Okay.
can I. Mm.
The reason I was asking you is previously one of my relative, she
Mm-hmm.
also went through similar, gallbladder operation, and
Mm-hmm.
she was restricted on a diet that
Mm.
was more of, anything that would lead to acidity, she was restricted. And
Oh.
initially, she did not have any issues. However, later
Mm.
on, she started having acidity alone. Nothing major, just acidity alone, maybe once in 15 days or so.
Okay.
Probably because she would have this oily food or something. That kind of that made her develop this acidity. However, that also was resolved. She was given a patch on her palm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what actually that meant, but then she had that patch on her palm to avoid that acidity, and that also was resolved. So, since you
Okay.
said that you've also undergone similar surgery, I got curious.
But I haven't had experience of such kind of uh, in difficulties post-operation period. For the first 1 or 2 days, there are some kind of dizziness, and
Okay,
the pain also was there a little bit. But now it's
definitely.
quite okay. Yeah.
Good, lovely, lovely. And I wish you all the, I wish you get well soon. And
Yes,
even
yes.
if at
Thank
all,
you. Thank you very much.
wonderful, wonderful. So, how have you been otherwise? I mean, like, what have you been doing other than that? Have you been reading any book? Have you been watching any movie? Did you watch anything recently? How has your life been?
Not really. Now I am not reading or even watching also.
Oh,
For
why?
a few days, I have stopped doing this, but I will definitely start very soon.
All right. What about movies? Even movies you did not watch?
No, and before that, earlier I used to watch this web series on Netflix,
Yes.
particularly to develop my spoken English, and
Which
that's
was that?
how that was Suits.
Ah, yeah. Even I have been watching. I think this is the fourth time I'm watching Suits. Especially the language that has been used in this particular program is quite proficient, and it's not
Yes.
very easy to understand unless you
Yeah,
read the
yeah, right.
subtitles.
Yeah, yeah. I take the help of subtitles always, and every now and then I have to go refer to dictionary also,
Dictionary.
because many of the things it relates the American style. I think there
It
are
is
so
an
many.
American program, definitely, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. So it
However,
is
it
not
is
very common.
more inclined toward jargon. This is all about law, right? So you will
Yeah,
hear a lot of jargon related to law there. So initially,
yeah.
even I was not able to make out what they were saying. And then
Hmm.
eventually I understood after understanding. Yeah, even I had to refer to dictionary quite a few times just to understand what they're trying to say. But
Yeah,
since
yeah.
I've
There are
watched
some
it
words
before,
we learn. Like one was, I remember there was pro bono. That one,
pro bono,
pro bono case, yes. And other two
yes.
or three, yeah, I learned there.
What other words are you? Will you be able to recall those
Uh,
words?
no, I actually forgot, but
There is
I
also
learned
something called as perjury.
perjury, yeah, yes. But
Yes.
perjury I learned earlier also, not in that,
Okay.
but that was something new for me.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
some other words I forgot actually.
Okay. No problem. Well, if you do not have to forget a word, this is something we always do. You always, if you are trying to develop your vocabulary, you must always use that expression or the particular word at least minimum of 7 times. So what
Okay,
happens is when you use it in your conversation for at least 7 times and more, not less than 7 times, it becomes more of your habit and it gets ingrained into your subconscious mind and you will never forget it. And this was
okay,
told to me by my trainer, and I have been following that since the day, I think it was in 2003, I believe. And post
okay,
that, I've been following that rule, and trust me, it works wonders. So whenever I
okay,
try to pick up a word, I instantly start applying that in my own conversation, or if there is no conversation, I instantly start making statements of my own.
hmm,
So 7 times, and you start using those kind of statements in your language without any difficulty.
okay,
Just this morning, I kind of picked up a word. Not picked up. In fact, that word I learned very long ago, but I wasn't able to use that word for quite a while. But then I've been using that word very often lately. I used that this morning as well. I was speaking to somebody this morning, and I don't know. Let me tell you a few words that I uh, came around today. One is,
hmm.
yeah, berserk.
Bazar. Actually, the pronunciation is
Berserk.
Bazak, na? Bazak.
Berserk.
Okay.
As in
Yeah.
going crazy, going haywire.
Mm-hmm. He went Bazak like that.
Yes, he went berserk.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
fodder for
Jun,
gossip.
the fodder.
Fodder for gossip, huh? And we were having
Okay.
this conversation with my colleague, and she was going on and on and on about, that she does not want to be fodder for gossip, as in like
Okay.
topic of gossip.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be the fodder for their gossip. So she went on and on about this statement. And another one is Not my monkey, not my not my circus, not my monkey.
Okay, what does it mean?
One second, not my monkey, not my circus. As in, it's not my issue, it's not my problem. Why do I have to deal with it?
Okay.
Not my monkey, not my circus. So
Okay,
this is
okay, so one phrase that I just remember now that I learned from that series, it was drop the ball. You
drop
remember
the
that
ball.
one? Yeah.
Drop
So
the
if you,
ball. Huh.
so making mistakes actually. So you have dropped the ball. They used to
Okay.
say.
No, this is
Yeah.
something new to me. So I need to. So you have taught me one of the. Is that an idiom or a phrase? What is it?
This is a phrase.
Okay. And if we have to use it in a context,
Contact in a casual conversation also. So if
uh-huh.
you say something wrong, or if you did something wrong, you made some mistake, then the other person may tell you, hey, just drop the ball. You made a mistake.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It was
Make a
like that. They
mistake or
used,
mishandle
yeah,
things.
yeah,
I really dropped the ball on this one. Something like that.
yeah.
Okay, good, good.
And
Oh,
other one I learned, turn oneself in
huh. That is, yes.
to surrender
Meaning,
before
yes,
police.
correct.
Yeah, yeah,
Turn oneself in, turn yourself in, or
yeah,
yes, that is also another, that's a phrase.
yeah.
That's a phrasal verb. These native speakers, they have a tendency. They do not have a tendency, but then rather they are used a lot in using phrasal verbs and also these idiomatic expressions. Yeah, this is what they majorly use. And that's what
Hmm.
differentiates us Indians from those Americans or even British people. British people have sophisticated language. They are
Hmm.
very, very particular about their grammar. They are very particular about the formality of their language. They want to be formal at all situations, in every particular situation. They do not want to resort to anything simpler or anything informal. British Americans are quite casual. They are like they don't really care. They are like
Yeah.
extremely native. So if I always actually suggest, especially to my clients on Clapingo, I always say that if you want to develop native language, if you want to develop informal language, if you want to develop more of idiomatic expression and all of that, these American movies are the go-to places to learn. But if you want to learn British language, I always suggest watch these web series that you have on Netflix, which are made in England mostly, and they have the sophisticated language. So
Yes.
yes, that depends. In fact, I used to watch this particular program, Daredevil. My son actually introduced me to this program, and there is one
Mhm.
particular character I'm not able to recall, but then his English was top notch. The kind of language that it is an American series. However,
Mhm.
there is this one character. He's an antagonist of the particular program, and
Mhm.
he used extremely formal and extremely sophisticated language. I just used to watch that program for his language and for nothing else. It's a boring series, actually. It's made for these kids. And I would suggest if you ever get time, do watch that program. I'm not sure if you're going to enjoy it, but then you're going to
Okay.
love the language for sure.
Yes, yes. For learning language, yeah.
Yes, unless you have love for the language, you will definitely not be able to enjoy that series because it's just
Mhm.
for, it's more like, those superhero movies, sorry, series. So
Yeah.
unless you're into that, do you watch those kind of movies, by the way? These superhero movies and all that.
No, no, not at all.
What about these Avengers?
No. I like to see this, the practical one. That I don't like non-fiction. Sorry, I don't like fiction. I like
Non-fiction? Oh,
no, no.
fiction.
I like non-fiction. Sorry,
Okay. So in that case, what was the recent movie that you watched?
English. No, I haven't watched.
English or Hindi? Anything?
Hindi. I forgot. Just a few days back I watched. Nowadays I just find it very difficult to recall
To
also. I
remember,
don't
recall things.
know.
Happens. It's not just, it happens with everybody. I watched this when you were talking about based on true stories. I watched this last week, 2 weeks ago, that Rani Mukherjee's movie.
Oh, against something versus Norway.
Mrs. Chatterjee versus
Chatterjee
Norway.
versus Norway. Yeah.
I did not know when I started watching the movie. I had no idea that it was true story based on true events. But by the
Oh, you
end
did
of
not
the
know
movie,
the incident earlier. You
no,
did not know that it happened earlier. Okay.
nope, I did not. In fact, by the
No.
end of the movie, they showed a couple of pictures. And they said that it is based on true events. And then I kind of was watching that movie late in the night at 3 o'clock, I believe. 2 o'clock.
Hmm.
I finished the movie at 2 o'clock, and that's when I realized that it is based on true events. And that's when I logged on. I went on YouTube and I Googled, I looked up for information, and I saw the real interviews. I saw the real parents, and it was devastating to be, being separated from, especially I'm a mother. So I was
Hmm.
able to empathize the feeling. So that was that I watched. So you
Yeah.
haven't, uh-huh.
No, you was telling something.
That was the movie that I watched recently,
Okay.
which is based on true events.
Yeah, yes, I know that, but I haven't watched though.
Uh-huh.
But I know.
You know the story though.
Yes, yes.
You stay updated on current events, don't you?
No, earlier I knew about this one once I read about these things, but I
Hmm.
did not know the whole story. But when the
Okay.
picture came and there are something going on about this picture,
Hmm.
because it came to my notice when I read in a newspaper or maybe on the internet that Norway government has protested against this picture. They
Uh.
were not approving the fact that were showing in this
Oh,
picture.
recently you mean?
Yes, yes. Now, earlier I know about the incident, but when recently it came to my notice that Norway government has protested against this one, then I read again that this,
Hmm.
and then I came to know that about the movie that Rani Mukherjee has played the role of that mother, like that.
Hmm. All of that I was not aware. I was, in fact, that night I was all alone, and I started watching one of the recent movie about Jennifer Lopez, something called The Mother.